Yo, YouTube, what's good with y'all, man? It's your boy, man, back at y'all with another video, man. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Y'all know the vibes, man. Listen, yo, a lot of reports are coming out about Anthony Richardson, man. Apparently, AR is dealing with a shoulder injury at the moment. I think the same shoulder injury that he had in 2013 that kept him sidelined for, I want to say, 85% of that season. And then the next season after that, he comes back, doesn't really play particularly well. You guys all remember that infamous game that he had where he tapped out of the game.
Explain this. You subbing out when you hurt, you injured, you tired.
Man, tired. I ain't gonna lie. That was a lot of running right there that I did, and I don't think I was gonna be able to go that next play. So I just, just whole saying I just needed a break right there.
And the media and the Indianapolis Colts were in a frenzy. A lot of people were clowning him and bagging on him about that. The Indianapolis Colts drafted AR 4th overall in the 2023 draft. Same draft that Bryce Young and CJ Stroud came out of. Obviously, those two quarterbacks right now, CJ Stroud being the best of all of them. CJ Stroud has, accomplished a lot, in a short amount of time with being with the Houston Texans. Bryce Young had an up and down season last year, but is definitely looking to bounce back this season. The Carolina Panthers has put a lot more around him, drafted him a receiver in Tedero McMillan. So I'm interested to see what Bryce Young does this season, and I have a lot of high hopes for him in the Panthers. But we're here to talk about Anthony Richardson, man. Like I said before, Anthony Richardson, coming out of college, literally pulled a Zach Wilson, and nobody's really talking about it. Anthony Richardson got literally drafted off of that one throw that he made at the NFL I don't remember if it was at the combine or at his pro day.
Anthony's arm strength is his superpower, but everything just looks so easy. As you can see, everything's so fluid. As you can see, he hit the ceiling right there.
Doggone it.
There we go. We get quarterback hit.
One of them shits, but the ball ended up hitting the ceiling, and he ended up getting drafted. Okay, Shane Steichen and them boys is over there in Indianapolis. So if anybody can develop Anthony Richardson, it would be Shane Steichen. We all know that Anthony Richardson was a very, very raw prospect coming out of the University of Florida. He didn't play too many games, but the games that he did play and the plays that he did make were absolutely spectacular. It was just, for me, he wasn't a very polished passer, and he was getting drafted off of physical profile alone. Okay, he still needed to learn how to play the quarterback position, and I know that Chris Ballard, the Indianapolis Colts general manager, had a lot of nice things to say about AR, saying that he's still very young, he still has a lot of potential, and they knew what they were getting themselves into when they drafted him. He was one of the most inexperienced quarterbacks to come out of the draft in quite some time, and he got drafted 4th overall, man. Just off of, like I said, physical profile alone. Where now, fast forward to 2024, reports are coming out saying that Anthony Richardson is dealing with a shoulder injury. Now, things are gonna get a little tricky here, man. Last season, Anthony Richardson was being backed up for his backup quarterback was Joe Flacco. I think Joe Flacco started a few games for them dudes, man. It didn't really look good. Now Joe Flacco's back on the Cleveland Browns, and the Indianapolis Colts ended up picking up Daniel Jones, man. Daniel Jones.
Jones keeps, gets a block, takes off, and he is gone. Trying to stay upright.
When he pops out, now it's cover two. Because it's cover two, Harrison Smith stays right outside to bait Daniel Jones into that. When he pops out, now it's cover two. Because it's cover two, Harrison Smith stays right outside to bait Daniel Jones into that.
His first round pick wide receiver couldn't even remember his name. But you know me as a Philadelphia Eagles fans, I like to crap on Daniel Jones a lot. But the one thing I will say about Daniel Jones, man, is the man has experience in the league, man. You know, he's been to the playoffs a few times. I believe he's won a playoff game. Daniel Jones, I don't really put too much on him now that at hindsight 2020 that I'm looking back at it. The New York Giants never really put enough around him. You know, now they got a new quarterback in Jackson Dart. They got Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston over there, so I'm interested to see how that works out for them. But back to Anthony Richardson, though, man. AR, man, listen. He's in danger of potentially losing his starting quarterback's position, bro. Listen, when it comes to being sidelined with an injury during training camp in the midst of a QB competition, because this is what it is, it's a QB competition. I don't think that Daniel Jones is old enough for me to just be like, oh, he's gonna just be the backup. Daniel Jones is looking to start, man, and it's kind of, and this injury has opened the door for him to do so. Uh, Listen, man, Anthony Richardson, he has to prove himself this year. This is basically a make or break year for him, man. I could definitely see the Indianapolis Colts moving on from him. He hasn't necessarily proven anything ever since he came into the league. You know, we all knew it was going to take some time, but he hasn't shown enough progress for me to be like, oh, yes, this guy needs to be the starter for the Indianapolis Colts. Now he's shown flashes here and there. You know, he's very very athletic. He has a strong arm. He has a great deep ball, but the thing with Anthony Richardson, the problem with him is between the numbers. You know, between the
It's officially time to panic about Anthony Richardson's accuracy issues. He's missing wide open throw after wide open throw, everything in the short to intermediate range. He just can't make it. He's now second to last in on-target throws ahead of only Caleb Williams, which is hilarious. It's got to be panic at the disco in Indianapolis.
numbers, man, them little short intermediate throws, he's very very inaccurate. I still feel like he's having a hard time processing NFL defenses, which makes sense because of his lack of experience that he had in college. Oh man, listen, man, we all know that infamous tap out that he had. So the man tapped out of a game last season. The man's hurt this season. Same shoulder injury that he had when he. Things aren't looking good for AR, bro. Things aren't looking too good for him, man. If I had to put a finger on it, I would say this, man. I could definitely see Daniel Jones being the starting quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts in 2025. And where does that leave Anthony Richardson, man? Where does that leave him? I could see Anthony Richardson, you know, being a backup quarterback in this league in the next 2-3 years, bro, or find himself in the Canadian Football League, man. I don't think that Anthony Richardson and the Indianapolis Colts are gonna work out. I just don't. He hasn't proven anything, like I said. But let's just go and look at AR's numbers, man. Let's just go look at his numbers real quick, big dog. See what he got going on. Yeah, so Anthony Richardson, man, 2024 stats, man. 8 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, 61.1.6 QBR. That's a 47.7% completion percentage, man. That is atrocious numbers for a fourth overall pick, man. It's not looking too good, man. And I had my doubts about AR, coming into the draft. I wasn't really sure how things were really going to work out for him, man, because like I said, he didn't really play a lot of college football. He hasn't really played a lot of football in general. You know what I mean? 2023 was his rookie year. Like I said, he showed flashes of some brilliance in his rookie season in 2023, but was ultimately sidelined with that shoulder injury, and he ended the season with 3 touchdowns and 1 interception. So far in his career, 2,300 yards, 50.1% completion percentage, and 11 touchdowns and 13 interceptions, which rounds up to a QBR of 67.8. Yeah, man, those numbers don't necessarily scream fourth overall pick to me, in my honest opinion. And I do believe that because Anthony Richardson is still on his rookie contract, it wouldn't be anything for the Indianapolis Colts to cut ties with him. What team could I see Anthony Richardson going to? I really don't know, bro. I'm looking around the league right now. I'm not necessarily sure where AR could end up if the Indianapolis Colts don't work out for him now. I don't know if AR is going to start the season as the starting quarterback. He could, depending on what he does in camp when he comes back from his injury. But there's a lot of question marks, man. A lot of question marks about AR, man. And I'm interested to see what happens, man. But if I had to guess, I would say that maybe AR plays a few games this year, but I could definitely see Daniel Jones being the starter for the majority of the season. Because I think Daniel Jones is gonna win this job. I think Daniel Jones is gonna win this job. As bad as Daniel Jones has been in New York, his career has still been way better than AR. And I think that's the reason why they brought him in here, because they have question marks about Anthony Richardson. Okay, if they was all in on AR, they wouldn't even go out and get a guy like Daniel Jones. But because of his injury history, he's labeled injury prone at the moment, man. I think they still have their question marks about if he can actually be a starting quarterback in this league, man. And a lot of us do. I myself do too. But yeah, man, y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments, man. Do y'all think Anthony Richardson will be the starting quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts in 2025? Or could you see them moving on from him, after this season? Y'all just let me know in the comments what y'all think, man. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Y'all know the vibes, man. And I'm out. Peace.